Nothing ever goes to plan, and it's no different with this journey that I'm on. At the start, I planned it out for 6 months, 2 months for conditioning, to get my weight down, to get my cardio up, to improve my fitness. Then the next 2 months will be focused on skill training. But what I realized once I started getting into the skill training was that it is a fucking long journey. There's so much shit that you gotta do and so much shit that you gotta learn. And to compact it into 2 months, it's impossible. It's mission impossible. It's fucking Tom Cruise, man. Like, not even Tom Cruise can do that shit. Through that time of me just training and going to classes, I started to figure out that, I got a lot to learn. There's so much time I need to spend on the mats and invest and be smart about it as well. Going back to the original plan of 2 months fitness, 2 months of skill training, and then 2 months of training camp and to fight. Well, we're on month number 6 at the moment, and I do not have a fight scheduled. When I was in the midst of skills training, attending the grappling classes, going to the wrestling classes, MMA classes, MMA sparring, there's so much I learned and so much I realized through all that time I spent with the team. One thing I remember that I had somewhat of a concern about was just injuries. You know what I mean? Just being able to train and go hard, like go 100%, go 110%. Not in fitness or like individual training sessions. It's more in the wrestling, the grappling, the MMA sparring. And once I started to get into it, get into sparring more, get into grappling more, and just everything, I started to understand that I need more time. I need more time, and the body can only do so much, and then you just gotta stop yourself. The first 2 months I went to fitness class, I didn't really have too much pain. Not that I remember, right? Nothing that was going to stop me from going to the fitness classes, right? But once that period or that once phase 1 was over and phase 2 started, that's when all the injuries started to hamper me. You know what I mean? Like, there's a shoulder injury that has been plaguing me for the last 20 years, and little like neck problems, neck soreness. You know what I mean? I've always had that. I remember in grappling, I remember in jiu-jitsu when I used to train back in Korea. That's something that was common. So I didn't really like think too much of it about the neck soreness, but like for my shoulders and my lower back and my hip and even like this thumb, there's like right along this side of my thumb, there's some kind of ailment. I don't know what's going on, to the point where it's like it's jammed or something, and to the point where when I'm punching on this side, I could just feel it all the way down here. So it debilitates my front hand. You know what I mean? Like, I can't throw it out there. It just hurts. Even like hitting mitts. You know what I mean? George uses those paddles, which actually help with impact, and I think it helps him as well as a coach who holds pads. So all these things are happening, right? So throughout the last couple of months, I've been going to see a physio. And this physio has helped tremendously. Like, when my hip was really, really bothering me, what did she do? She went in there, deep tissue massage, ultrasound therapy. It was gone in a couple of sessions, and everything looked great, you know what I mean? And then my shoulder started to flare up, bother me. And it's not just during training. It's like doing regular things in life, maybe reaching over and picking something up, or reaching behind me in an awkward angle and kind of like pulling my shoulder up a little bit. Like, if I go like this, there's pain in the back area of my shoulder, and I could feel that, right? At the start of it, the pain was in the front part of my shoulder, like right here at this point, right? So anyways, I've been going to the physio for the past couple of weeks. It's probably been like a month and a half, maybe. And she's been working on my shoulder, deep tissue massages, very very good communication with the doctor and where the pain is and how the pain happens. You know, there's a few times where I've dropped just like dead onto the mat on my shoulder, on my bad shoulder, which does not help at all. Like I said earlier, if I punch, even with my right shoulder, punch impact, the impact will go all the way to my shoulder. So even if, like, let's say if I hit impact like this, my shoulder is affected. If I twist it and I extend it out, it's a little bit better. I don't know, but the proper way to punch, extend it out, is probably going to be like that, right? Or something like this. Well, you know, some people teach it that way. The last visit that I went to, she told me that you're getting better, the shoulder is getting better, and you're able to maintain a certain level of training, but because of this shoulder, I've had to miss so many days. You know, even with the hip, whenever you do any kind of like shockwave therapy on any part of your body, and if anybody has gone or has received that type of therapy, you know what I mean? It's like a gun, but they're like, it's impacting whatever part of your body. It's like, doof, 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 and you feel it. But after your body takes that, you know, you know, you have, the doctor recommended me to skip sessions and just rest. She told me in my last session that most likely you should probably get an MRI because your shoulder is not getting better, right? The pain is moving from area to area, it all depending on like what's being used that week or whatnot. But what she was saying is like, get an MRI, see what's wrong exactly. She's mentioned tendonitis, rotator cuff injury, all kinds of stuff. But to really, really know, you have to get an MRI. So I've decided that I will postpone the fight, go back to Korea at the beginning of September, get an MRI, make sure my shoulder is straight, and or get a clearance from the doctor, a shoulder specialist. That's something that I could live with. I could live with the doctor telling me when I go back to Korea. But right now, at this point, I am not like comfortable. I am not prepared. You know, you're never prepared 100% to fight, I don't think. But I'm not even 50% prepared. If I was able to spend the last 4 weeks, right, when all of this stuff started, and been able to go to MMA sparring and go full blast, because that's the one thing that I wasn't able to do. I wasn't able to go full blast. If you can't go full blast during a training camp, when are you gonna go full blast, right? That's the way to prepare for your fights, is to get in there and go 100%, you know, from time to time. That's when, you know, sparring days are for. But because of all of this shit, I just haven't been able to do that. And because I'm not getting those rounds in to prepare myself properly for an opponent, I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And fear and being scared and all of this shit, yeah, that's all part of it. But I'd rather have those hard rounds in. And whenever a fighter says that, I need to get the hard rounds in to get myself mentally prepared. You know, I kind of understand that a little bit more now because I haven't had those hard rounds. You know, I've gotten my ass beat a bunch of times, but like I haven't had those hard rounds where I'm like going 100%. You know, like I've never won 100% in sparring. I've never even won 80% in sparring. Probably the highest I've been is like 50%. You know what I mean? I don't think you could be preparing for a fight at 50%, sparring at 50%. It's probably not going to be helpful. Now the plan has changed. I'm going to go back to Korea, and my time in Thailand was not wasted. Definitely not wasted. There's so much stuff that I learned, so many great people that I've met and formed some relationships with. Whatever I do in life, I always see the good that comes out of it, and I'm only going to see the good that comes out of this. And it's going to help me for years and years to come. So, going back, my plan is going to be in the beginning of September, go back to Korea, get an MRI, see what the doctor says, and then make a decision at that point. But what I'm envisioning right now is going back to Korea, negotiating with the doctors or whatever you want to call it, and then continue training in Korea. There's a few spots in Korea, a few pro fighters, a few pro teams that I could go train with over there. And I think it actually would be better for me, you know, as a person that covers fighting, to go back to Korea and train with some of the Koreans and continue this journey in Korea. I kind of like that. I kind of like this concept of continuing this journey in Korea and seeing how they train and seeing how they prepare for fights and comparing it to, let's say, how Bang Tao does it. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see that. I think that's something that interesting. You know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting to see the preparations, the different levels of preparation, coaching, all kinds of stuff. That's the plan now. So for the rest of my time in Thailand, I will be training, trying to stay injury free, and trying to get some really good content out of it. Life, you know what I mean? It never goes to plan, but once you know those speed bumps come, you just gotta press the accelerator and hop over them motherfuckers. Let's do it that way. I'm always about adapting and switching things up if need be, and that's what I'm doing now. Don't fucking say shit because I will fight. It's not like me, I'm like realizing like I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. But I want to experience fighting. It's like skydiving. You're not a skydiver, but you want to experience skydiving one time, right? Bungee jumping. You're not a professional bungee jumper, but you want to experience bungee jumping one time in your life. You'll never see me walking around saying I'm a fighter. I don't think it's in me, but it's in me to go in there and investigate, and that's what I want. So, got some other shitty news today. Today, I went to, for the last couple of days, I didn't really feel too good. You know, like, I was having like soreness or like muscle soreness throughout my whole body, like cold sweats, a little bit of coughing, and then I had some kind of like sore forming on the back of my throat. And then whenever I would swallow, like it would hurt. Went to spend a couple days. Like I'm a type of guy, like once the shit starts, like I'll wait like a day or two just to see what happens. So I waited a day or two. Symptoms were still the same. Went to the doctor. Doctor looks down my throat. I thought it was strep throat, but he's saying it's tonsillitis on the left side right here. So if I press right here, I could fucking feel the pain. And if you look inside, like the doctor did, runs right when you looked at it, he said it was tonsillitis. But the thing about tonsillitis, it could be caused by many different things. Like it could be caused by flu. It could be caused by just the common cold. It could be caused by strep throat. But it's some kind of bacteria most likely. So got the antibiotics. Take a couple days away from the gym, and I'll be back for another session. And hopefully I miss none moving forward. But if I do, it is what it is.